Welcome in to the Holton Ahlers show. Got a big episode. ECU leadoff man and center fielder Ryley Johnson, and possibly starting quarterback next year, Katin Hower, joining us later on. Hope you enjoy the show. If not, as always,
that's too damn bad. Holton Ahlers turns, and Holton will take off and run himself. He's at the 40-yard line. Holton Ahlers to the 30. Look at him go. 20, 10, 5. Touchdown, Pirates.
There's local politics, bud.
It's showtime!
And we are here, another episode of the Holton Ahlers show with the walk-ons. Caden's back. Jack's been here the whole time. Drew's got bubble guts, so he's not here tonight. So we got someone else produce it, so stick with us. But, hey, on the other line, the most athletic man in college baseball, possibly, boys, Ryley Johnson. Welcome to the show, brother.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you all.
Let's go. Hey, I'm happy for you. I mean, obviously we've been boys for a while. Off the field, we're good friends. Had a couple brewskis together along the way in college back in the day, but I'm glad it's all working out for you. I remember, some of the conversations we had off air and just about just waiting your time. You've obviously dealt with some injuries. You're still dealing with injuries, just kind of playing through it. So just talk about this team. Obviously, there's every single year with ECU baseball, it's going to be in talks of Omaha. What do you thinking about this team can break the door down and get to Omaha?
So for this team, I've talked about it after games, but like we go into the locker room, it's not just like, hey, how you doing? And like we actually have intentional conversations like, hey, how's the family? Like, how's the personal life? So it's more of getting to know one another more, and that brings it to the baseball field. We trust one another, and obviously you're not going to win every game because it's a long season, but it comes to the point where when you get really close to your teammates, you know who they are, you know what they're dealing with outside baseball, and getting to know them really correlates to the field. So being able that, I think this team is really special, and I know we say that every year, but, we have Bible study every Sunday. A lot of people go, and it's just, like I've said, this team is just super special in, different aspects from previous years that I've been here.
Yeah, man. Shoot, I hope so. I'm going to be in Omaha if we make it. Jack, what do you got for him?
Yeah, first off, Ryley, congrats on just Conference Player of the Week. That's pretty big-time stuff right there. Obviously, you deserve it. You've been balling out. But talking about last night, or when the time this comes out, it'll be 2 nights ago at William & Mary, 13-inning game. Those things could kind of get grueling and taxing on both your mind and your body. How do you stay in it mentally just during that whole game? And, what's the team morale kind of like as you guys are just digging in the bullpen, trying to keep going and find a way?
So, we stick with our approach, and, our approach is to get the first guy out of before the 5th inning, and we did it in the 1st inning. So that was huge. And obviously we put up 4 runs in the 1st inning, and then we get out there in defense. They put up a 3 spot. And then from there, it was just back and forth. And it was long. Took a toll on all of our bodies, but I think it's thinking that we have a bunch of guys on the bench that we can utilize. Just like the guys on the bench, they're special, and they know when their name is called, they're gonna produce for us. So I think just being ready when your name is called. And if you're not say Star for instance, he's been dealing with an oblique injury and all that, but we have Colby Wallace, a freshman that's been able to step up. We've had a bunch of freshmen being able to step up. So I think that's really huge. And utilizing our bench in long games like this.
Right. And then, it's a late night game. It's a late bus ride. We've all kind of had those experiences where you get back that night so late and you've got stuff to do the next morning. For the listeners on this show that don't really have an idea or a clue about that, kind of give us a little tale about your timeline last night. I'm sure you guys got in sometime around 2:30 or something in the morning, and then you wake up and you got class and workouts and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, shoot. I should have done my 2 assignments before that game because I did not think it was going to go 5.5 hours. So I was definitely rushing to get those done before midnight.
Yeah.
But, we got home around 3. Wake up, we had to go to class. treatments and stuff, 1 to 4:30. Lift was at 4:30, ended around 5. So, yeah, I mean, we had practice and stuff in between.
Right. Yeah, that's nice. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Katin,
Yeah, Ryley, you've been pretty hot lately. I don't want to jinx you, so I won't jump into the
Yeah.
But I'm curious. I know baseball's a lot of a streaky sport. So how do you battle the highs versus the lows of those hot streaks versus maybe those cold streaks, and how do you approach every at bat in the batter's box?
Well, for me, I don't mind getting to 2 strikes, so they're gonna have to pitch to me. So usually, I mean, I take the first pitch regardless, unless there's a bunt available. But being able to, hit with 2 strikes, work a count, being on base puts pressure on the defense, being able to steal. And when I do get to 2 strikes, I don't mind just tapping the ball in the infield and being able to beat it out. So it's more just putting pressure on the defense and, having confidence in yourself. And I think a big part of, success that I've had this year is me being myself and just having fun. That's the main thing. I always go up there instead of dapping people up, saying have a good game and all that. I always dap them up and say, have fun, be yourself. And I think that's the main thing of the success I've had this year.
So no matter how juicy the first pitch, we're not taking it. We're not swinging at it.
Yeah, for the most part, because I mean, Coach G, he's come up to me a couple of times. Hey, you want the green light or you want to take a pitch? I was like, I mean, last time I swung that first pitch, I rolled over, so yeah. I don't want that to happen.
Curious.
Katin, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just curious with this one thing. I know how football we have, a solid week just to really dive into game film. Baseball, it's kind of back and forth. It's not really, you have that midweek game, you have the weekends. How do you really, when you watch film on, pitchers, the bullpen, how do you guys study those, the starter, of course, but then the rest of the pen?
I mean, I'm not going to give too much away, but, before games and stuff, we have pitchers meeting, hitters meeting, all that. We'll watch that guy's outing that he's had through previous years, and we'll see what his ball does, sinks, rides, type of pitches he has, what's his go-to pitches, if we need to stay on time, stay late, and all that. So we do that before every game. And then what we do before, say, Friday, well, obviously we played a game. So say Saturday morning, we'll have a whole team meeting on how the game went and break down each play, what we can do better, what we need to work on, and what to keep doing.
Ryley, you talked about you being in a different role now and you having fun with it. You're in a different role also because you're the older guy in the room kind of now, or, in the outfield with some of those younger guys as freshmen. How have you took that and, you talked about it a little bit. How have you took that role and kind of ran with it? Because you were one time the young guy waiting for your turn, making at bats when you needed to. How do you, press that on to other guys? You had a lot of, good guys to look up to. Bryson Worrell obviously was one of them. How do you take that, what you learned from those guys, and emphasize it to the younger guys below you now?
So it's more of they don't focus on themselves. They talk for Hoover and Bryson, they'd get on me if I did something wrong, but I know it's not them, being mean. It's more of just trying to help me. And when I got hurt in the fall with both my shoulders, I had to take a different role. I didn't go right away into dang, why did this happen to me? I went straight to the outfield. I helped Bristol Carter. He's doing a fantastic job, and a bunch of other outfielders. And being injured for me has helped me become more of a vocal leader because I didn't play the whole fall or early preseason. So being able to help Bristol Carter, getting out of my comfort zone because he's a great player. He's taking his role really seriously. We've talked a lot, about a bunch of serious things. We joke around a lot, but I think being able to know when to play baseball and to joke around is a big thing. And Bristol Carter has done a fantastic job about that.
Yeah, that was one guy I was going to ask about was him, and obviously you kind of just hit on it. I wanted to ask, you talked about the injuries. Obviously, I mean, I know about them either way, but what made you – I know obviously before the season there was conversations about should you get surgery, should you not get surgery, should you play this year? What made you finally decide to play this year and just play with the injuries?
I think I mean, I'm a junior on the field, but senior in the class. But the people I came in with, man, it's hard. This is gonna be their last year. I'm never gonna be able to play with them again. And I'm playing for myself, but mainly I'm playing for them. I'm gonna give them everything I got. And I'm gonna give the coaching staff everything I got. If I'm ready to play, if I feel good enough to play, then I'm gonna play. And I expect my shoulders to pop out. And if they do, they do. I'm out for a couple days, but I'll be ready to be back out there.
Respect. That's a true pirate. I remember my senior year, first game at Michigan State, my shoulder popped out. I tore my labrum, which is obviously what's going on with you right now. So I know the feeling, brother. So keep battling.
Not a good feeling.
Katin, Jack, y'all got anything before we let them go?
I was about to say, I know Holton, your shoulder used to just bounce out all the time. So not a fun. I've never went through it, but I fun to worry about, or not even worry about, but just have what's going to happen if you go for a big play.
For sure, yeah.
Curious,
Jack.
I know there's a lot of series left, and I know we like to take one game at a time. Is there any games in particular, any series in particular that you're looking forward to when the rest of the year?
I mean, I look forward to every game, but one that really does stick out is when State comes here. It's going to be a big old crowd. I'm excited for that. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, they definitely are going to want that revenge with the beatdown in Ryley a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Jack, you got anything before we let them go?
No, sir, but that's what I'm looking forward to. I'll be out there, Ryley. I'll be watching you, man.
Heck yeah.
Hey, keep balling, brother. Proud of you. Just keep killing it, dude. Or your time's finally here. Let's take advantage of it. Take them boys to Omaha. We'll be there raising some hell.
Yes, sir. I appreciate y'all for having me.
For sure. See you, brother.
Peace.
Ooh, that was brought to you by Southern Ease. What are you waiting for? Experience the many wellness benefits of Southern Ease tasty edibles by going to southernease.com. You want some percent off? 25% off. Use code Pirate Capital for 25% off. Shout out to Southern Ease, our title sponsor. Last week I wore their hat. This week I'm wearing a Built When Broken hat, our July 4th collection. But yeah, check out southernease.com. 25% off. Code Pirate. Appreciate those guys, boys. How do we feel? Do we feel like this is the year to get to Omaha? Do we feel like is that how we're feeling, Jack? You guys have seen more games than me. I'm in Texas now. I'm following them, but I'm not seeing them in person. How are we feeling?
I'll tell you, the boys are impressive. They're fighting. The starting pitching is just elite. That 1-2 punch we got right there is definitely there. And then Ryley's been going crazy, and I didn't bring it up. I don't know if it's a sensitive subject or not, but they tweeted about it. Ryley's grandfather passed away this past week. Obviously a tough situation for anyone, but then he goes out there yesterday on Tuesday and hits a leadoff home run. So that's just kind of one of those moments in sports that I think I sent it to you right when it happened. Gives you the chills for sure, but I wish him the best the rest of the season because he's a dog and the team's full of them. So hopefully we make it there this year.
Hope so. Katin, how we feeling?
Yeah, I think Jack caught it. I think the biggest hurdle we've had in the past couple of years is the rotation, pitching. I think this year, I will be honest, I haven't kept track weekly. You guys know I've been traveling a lot lately, and I've missed how many episodes now. But I really do feel like what I have watched is that starting pitching, just like in that rotation, that bullpen, just like Jack said. I didn't want to jinx Ryley there. He said he was on a hot streak. I think it's a 9-game hit streak he's on right now.
Is he? Let's go.
Yeah, so his last non-hit game was actually that State game in Ryley. He didn't record a hit that night. But hopefully, knock on wood, I didn't jinx him, and he can go out there this weekend and have a great weekend.
If not, it's your fault. We're just going ahead and calling out down. The boys got to make it Omaha if we go, and that's no matter what. That's like if the Knicks make the finals, I'm going. If the Pirates make it Omaha, the boys are going to Omaha no matter what. Are we making a truce on that, boys?
Yeah, good thing you can save your money because there's no way you're going to be going to Madison Square Garden. So we could plan on Omaha and let that one win.
How's the play-in tournament, Jack? The Kings, they won a game, but I would never know how the play-in tournament is.
Did you see it? Because we smacked the Warriors and ruined their trio. They're gone.
The Warriors. Yeah, well, they're 40 years old, so I'd hope you beat their trio. Hey, shout out to Anson Belt, ansonbelt.com. Over 10,000 combinations of micro-adjustable holeless belts. Mix and match. Summer's coming around. Tighten it up because we're all getting fit for that summer bod. Shout out to ansonbelt.com. Jack, you got yours on. Katin, you got yours on when you've been traveling lately. You should have shown the world Anson belt.
I know. I wore one when I was in Texas a couple weeks ago. So recently, right now, I'm wearing shorts. I'm working at home today in shorts, so I got no reason to wear the belt today, but I have been repping.
It's hot in NC, huh? I heard it was.
Probably hotter in Texas.
Dude, it was hot. I'm not going to lie. Practice day, boys. I'll go ahead and give you the UFL update. Practice today, it's getting like 87 outside. It felt like a college camp practice. I was it was good, though. I'm getting tan. I don't know if you can tell on the screen. I'm getting a little tanner. But boys, I think the time's getting closer and closer for me to play. We've said it every week, but I think the time is there's some conversations about getting ready to play. So we shall see if it's this weekend or the next. Or
you can't leave us on the cliff edge. Can you give us a little bit more? Can you fill us in?
I can't, because I literally don't know. All they said was be ready. So I'm going to be ready. I've been ready.
You don't got to get ready if you stay ready.
That's right. I mean, I've been balling during practice. I say it every week, so we'll see if the time comes, because this league needs young quarterbacks. You saw Adrian Martinez last weekend for the Stallions throw for 350 when they finally made him the starter, 3 touchdowns, like 50 yards rushing. I feel like I can do that too, honestly. These defenses, like, they can't disguise too much just because our camp isn't that long. So league's been great. I say it every week. So hopefully we're 0-3 right now. Hopefully we can get in the win column at Houston. I
don't know if Holton's blowing you up like he's blowing me up, but he's like, hey, when are you going to come to Texas? You're going to come to Dallas? It's awesome. And I keep telling him, I said, I am not coming until you're starting a game. So
pause.
We have a wager there. Holton
That's a fair point, though, Katin. That's a fair point.
We're gonna have a spare bedroom, boys. Someone's got to come and visit here soon. I miss the brothers. I miss my family. My fam's coming down here soon, I think, though, boys. So we'll check it out. But the games really are fun. Like, we're getting decent crowds too. I know, like on TV, like we play in Houston this weekend at Rice Stadium, so the stadium's huge. Like, we're getting like 15,000, which is for spring league. Like, I'll take that. Right. We played in St. Louis. It was 40,000. I thought that was a great. I mean, they have obviously the best spring environment. Her DC is good. We play in DC. Katin, you at least got to make that one. Jack, have we announced the news yet on the pod? What's going on with your life, Jack?
We haven't.
All right, go for it.
The boys moving to Colorado. I'll be moving out there sometime next month. But we're gonna keep the show rolling, of course, just like we always do. We're gonna find a way. So might have to adjust some times or days or something. But took a job in Colorado and I'm excited about it. So
let's go. News on ECU football before we get Katin Ahlers here in just a few minutes. I think we just invited him, so he should be on in just a few minutes. Shane Calhoun, boys, we're going to try to get him on next week. Jack, you think we can make that happen?
Yeah, I talked to him today about it, and he said that assuming that there's no interference with any visits that he has going on, he'd love to be on the show. I can confirm that he will be on a visit this weekend. We're not going to go into depth with who or anything. We'll let him obviously announce that. That's his business. But business is booming. I can confirm that.
Business is booming. Look, there's going to be ECU haters out there. We hate to see him leave. We've known it for a while now and just kind of kept it in-house. We're not the type to use clickbait, try to get Twitter followers or anything like that. But we kept it in-house, but we're happy for him. He's a good buddy of ours. He's done his time. He graduated from ECU. He helped us get to a bowl game, and he just wants a fresh start. And we'll get more in depth with that obviously next week when we get him on the show. But haters gonna hate. Keep on hating. He did his time, and we were with him in the locker room. He did plenty, and he deserves what's best for him. And right now, he believes that's something else. So, and I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. We brought in a transfer tight end with the OC that we brought in. So, what are you gonna do if you get a new boss and he brings in his guy? Well, how are you gonna feel? So,
right.
That's my take on it. How do y'all feel about it?
Kind of like what you said, great teammate, better friend, a guy that we all would go to war with again if we had the opportunity. But yeah, I mean, that was for sure a little shady, and I don't think we should go into detail too much about it because we're going to have him on so he could kind of talk about his reasons and stuff and see if that impacted his decision. But yeah, I mean, I don't blame him. I'm excited for him.
And just talking about what kind of teammate he is and how hard he worked and what a true Pirate he really is. And some people are going to say you're not a true Pirate if you transfer. I don't believe that's true. But Big John literally talked about him last week when we asked about what players stand off to him in his entire time at ECU. Big John's been here 5 or 6 years now. and one of the people he said was Shane Calhoun.
If
So
people say that you're not a true Pirate because you leave for your last year or two, does that mean I'm not a true Pirate because I came in for my last 2 years?
I don't know. We got Katin in though. Can we see Katin? Katin, can you see us?
Yeah, I got you guys.
That's right.
Let's go. Appreciate it, brother. Appreciate it for joining. Have you met? I'm sure you've met Jack sometime between doing rehab and his podcast and all that. Katin, go to Katin now. This is Katin. I don't know if you've met him. He used to play quarterback here with me. Katin, you're muted, I think.
Am I really?
No,
there we go.
There we go. What's up, man?
What's going on, man?
Dude, appreciate you for joining. Obviously, we've been trying to get you on for a while now. You're a busy man, especially in today's world with the portal, and then you're trying to get guys in. And we were just talking about Shane obviously leaving, and then one of the receivers, I think Omega Blake, is that how you say his name? He just entered the portal too. You being a transfer coming in, like obviously you see the portal. I want to start there. How was your portal experience before fully committing to ECU? Like, what was that like entering? Was there fear, entering it, and then what was it? What you expected? How was that experience?
Yeah, at first it's definitely a risk. You don't really know what to expect. You hear a bunch of stories about guys entering the portal, and it's just craziness and a bunch of schools hitting you up and tampering and stuff like that. So you don't really know what to expect. I wasn't getting that many like interactions before entering the portal. I kind of had a feeling I was at the end of the season, just kind of how things were going with the staff at Michigan State and just the status of the team and stuff like that. I felt like it was important for me to explore my options. So I talked to my family, kind of explored that option a little bit, and then entered the portal. I was one of the first guys on the team to enter the portal, one of the first quarterbacks too. And I kind of noticed at the start, it was a lot. It was a lot of schools following me, a lot of schools hitting me up, just trying to see where I was at and where I was kind of leaning towards. And I felt like ECU was one of the first schools to reach out to me. Shout out to Scott Gasper. He was one of the first ones to reach out to me, Twitter DM, and then got in contact with the new OC, JDB, and just kind of started that connection really early, and then kind of exploring different options. I was going to take a couple of visits, and going into it, I just really wanted to make my decision sooner rather than later. So I felt like just everything I've heard with ECU, and I actually took a visit, met JDB, and everything I saw, it really stood out to me, and I felt like this is the place to be. So the portal is pretty crazy, and it's different for everybody, so I can't really speak on anyone else's experiences, but for me, I thought it was pretty smooth. Definitely crazy at the start, but once I found a spot that felt like home, made that decision, it was really smooth transition. So it was helpful for me, so I think it's good for people who want to use it to their advantage for sure.
For sure, Jack's a portal baby, so he'll have to tell you some of his stories here in a second. He came to ECU from Nevada. Okay. I remember talking to you on your visit, and I remember saying this was a 2-10 football team, not a 2-10 football program. How much did last season's failures go into your success, or was it one of those things where you looked at the prior seasons and were like, we were winning before the past year? Like, how much did looking at the past seasons go into, your decision to come here?
Yeah, I definitely did some research, looked back at some of the old games, some of the old seasons, and just kind of see kind of what the program's history is. And I came from a team that was 4-8, and we were a losing team, but there was so much potential that was left on the table that I felt like we could have improved on and win a couple more games. So I know what it's like to kind of miss out on some opportunities. I feel like that was the case for ECU last year. Just a lot of missed opportunities, a lot of games that should have been won. So looking back at that, and I even talked to you too, like looking back at like some of the games that you played in the NC State game and some of these big time games that you played in. And seeing the fan reactions and just how good the team was in those games and those environments, something that really attracted me to ECU. And I could see the potential just with coaching staff and seeing the players in the building already. So that's kind of what all led to my decision. And I could definitely see the potential. And if just finish up spring ball too, just the potential that we have and just the team that we have this year is going to be really exciting. So I'm in a really good spot right now.
Let's go. What do y'all got for him?
First off, just for my own confidence purposes, I'd hope that when you're looking at the schedule last year that you realize that these games that we were losing were like 13-10 ball games, and you knew you could come in and fix that part.
That's what I'm hearing.
Okay, but non-selfishly now, the quarterback competition, obviously, I've heard it's been heating up a little bit throughout spring ball, and we all know as former players that spring ball is nice and it's good for installation and all that, but it doesn't really matter going into fall camp, and that's kind of where all the money lies. So what's your mindset going into fall camp with this competition and just trying to win over the locker room, if you will?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is when you go into spring ball, kind of how you approach it is you just want to gel with the team as much as possible. It's new OC, new offense, and then for me, it's a bunch of new players. So just trying to build relationships and try to grow as an offense as much as you can in that spring ball period, and then kind of work out the kinks a little bit. It's definitely going to be a change, just starting to build chemistry with some of these guys.
Right.
So I think the biggest thing going to fall camp is to really fine tune that stuff and really come together as an offense. And for me, that's just finding the mistakes that I made in spring ball and some of the things I need to improve on, and then improving on those things when I go into fall camp so I can make the team around me better. And the biggest thing for me is just eliminate some of the I don't know how to word this, but just kind of like some plays where you feel like you need to be more consistent. Just the consistency part going into fall camp is going to be the biggest thing. So that's what I feel like I need to improve on, and really just trying to better myself every single day going into fall camp is what I'm going to do from here on out.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I think just being around you a couple times, then also seeing you with the guys at the baseball game and stuff like that. And then at the spring game, you were fixing your connection with your receivers and always talking about it. It certainly looks from my perspective that you're doing a great job with that. So keep it up, man.
Appreciate that.
Katin.
Yeah, talking about the spring game, you guys lit up the yardage there with 401 passing yards. I was curious. I know with me and Holton had to come in and learn multiple playbooks. My second year, Holton's first year. Maybe Holton, I don't know if you learned multiple. I know I was on the multiple.
Yeah, I did.
But I know the challenging things in spring is learning a new playbook for you guys, and then of course meshing with receivers. What else was challenging this spring for you, coming in as a new quarterback with a new team and a lot of new guys? And how do you really overcome that?
Something that was challenging, what I would say, was just competing against new guys. I feel like you kind of get into a routine and a rhythm when you're at one place and understanding a different offense. And I think the most challenging thing for me was understanding what the coaches expect from me, like from an offensive standpoint, understanding what everyone kind of runs the same thing in college football. Everyone runs the same type of plays. This is understanding what the coach wants on a certain player, what he's thinking, and being able to be an extension of the OC when you're out on the field. It's new guys and different people. So just getting adjusted to that has been pretty challenging. But overall, I feel like with time and reps, it's definitely got a lot better. So that was probably the main thing for sure.
Yeah. What receivers are you looking at, like when you're like going for a deep ball, or knowing that, who are you really gelling with the most out there right now?
There's a couple guys I feel like that really stepped up. I would shout out Chase. Chase has been doing really well. He's a returner guy, really good leader for that room. He's a really good deep threat. Winston Wright transferred in. He's doing really well. And also Anthony Smith transferred in from NC State. He's going to be our really good deep threat this year. And those are just a couple guys that have been really stepping up, and I feel like I have connections with. So shout out to those guys. They've been working their ass off. So it's been good.
Nice, man.
Katin, I remember when I kind of finished my career, I sat down with Houston and kind of Big John, but separately. And I looked back, like Houston. So Houston came in after my true freshman year. And I remember looking back, I started my true freshman year, and then he made it a quarterback competition going into camp. And I remember looking in the time being like, dude, what is he doing? Like, is he testing me? Like, what is he doing? Not really agreeing with it, wishing I could get more reps. And Katin, you can talk about this too, because you were there. Then he eventually named me the starter, and that was just one time of him testing me when I was young. And when he first got there, and now you're in this new spot, you're kind of a younger quarterback in a new program with him. He's looking to win again. Like, Big John, I know, is going to test you in the summer. We had him last week, and that's when his test will kind of come, and you might not even notice him. Has Houston tested you in any ways yet that you've noticed? Because some of them you might not notice, but has he tested you in any ways that you don't notice or you have noticed yet?
Yeah, I feel like the biggest thing is he brought in me and Jake from transfer, so he holds us to a high expectation. He holds us to a high standard. So if he feels like I'm not reaching that standard, like if I have miss a throw in practice, or I'm not doing well in certain practice, like I've had experiences. He called me up to the office and just asked me what's going on, and if I'm doing all right, and just checking in on me, just making sure I'm good. Just hold me to a high standard. I think it's important. He's been really cool about it, though. Really cool about the competition. Just he's been really good, just checking in with me, making sure I'm doing good. But yeah, he's intense on the field. If I'm not doing my end of the stick, I got to pick it up. So he's been holding me accountable on that end for sure.
Dude, Jack, we can talk about this. Katin, you probably can too. Sitting in his office sometimes, especially earlier when I wasn't as close with him, like when he first got there, I'd be sitting in his office and I feel like it just looks into your soul and you're like, dude, what are you thinking about? And so serious and stuff. But he eventually lightens up. I don't know if he has with you yet, but he'll lighten up with you down the road, and hopefully he kind of already is. Maybe his older years he's lightening up a little bit.
Yeah, that's why I try to catch him in the weight room. He's always in the weight room, so usually he's tired. I can catch him in the weight room talking, and that's usually pretty lighthearted. But if I get in that office, it's pretty intense.
The office is a little shaky.
Get him when he's jacking iron.
Yeah, no doubt.
Jack, Katin, what do y'all got?
Yeah, I know I watched 2 quarterback battles from kind of the back in the 3rd string, 4th string role. So I really wasn't a part of them, but I watched them. And I was, obviously we were roommates. So I went through with you kind of the mental aspect of it. Kind of you're challenging for a role. You came all the way from Michigan State, he came from Miami. How is that relationship going for you guys? Like, I know I've experienced Holton with a few. They were kind of awkward, but just curious how you and Jake are kind of meshing with each other as well inside the quarterback room.
Yeah, I've known Jake for a while now, since high school. We're both from the LA area, so we've done like football camp stuff together. So we've had prior history and trained together before. So we kind of knew each other going into this thing. And I've been competing my whole life, just playing quarterback. So I feel like the most important thing in that room is you got to be supportive of one another, because we're both trying to reach common goals to make the team better. So I feel like when you go into each practice and you know that you're going to be competing every day, making it a positive competition and wanting to improve each other every single day. Like if I'm working my ass off and I'm doing everything I can, then it's only going to make him better, and that's vice versa. So understanding that and just having a positive outlook on just wanting to make the team better, make the quarterback room better, it makes the whole situation go a lot smoother. So overall, I think it's been a really good experience, and competing it's part of the job. So he's got to get used to it, and I feel like it's been a really good transition, a really good adjustment, just going from Michigan State to ECU and be able to compete with Jake.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know watching Holton, sometimes there's just some weird mentalness sometimes when you came in hoping you're the guy, and then now you got to compete for it. I know we all compete, but just curious about that aspect of it. It's good that you guys are meshing as well. What's one thing you miss about home, though? California, Eastern North Carolina, totally different. Just curious about that as well.
I mean, just being around my family. I'm a family guy. I love being around my family. So they're pretty far away. So being able to enjoy the time I see with them is pretty important. Overall, I love Eastern North Carolina. The food's great. Weather's awesome. It's been really good so far.
Awesome. Hey, what about you gonna take In-N-Out, or you gonna take barbecue? What do you have to choose?
Well, I tried the barbecue. I'm not used to it. It's like the vinegar kind of style.
Tell him, don't fade in.
No.
Yeah, I don't know what you guys' opinion on that is, but I'll take In-N-Out all day.
There you go.
I'll take In-N-Out too, but East North Carolina barbecue, man, is gas. I'm in Texas now. They got In-N-Out, but In-N-Out's pretty good.
It's not as good in Texas, Holt. We could have this debate later. You got to go to California.
All right, we'll have it later.
I just put a target on your back, making you choose In-N-Out there.
Jack.
Katin, I want to know, because, like, obviously I'm from the West Coast too, and so when you come out here, it is very different, like we were just talking about. I want to know what's been kind of your biggest surprise. For me, it was just kind of a mix of how big football really is here and how serious the fans take ECU athletics, and just like kind of that whole scene. But what's it been like for you? What's been your biggest surprise since being in Greenville?
Yeah, I think the fan support is probably the biggest thing. I didn't really realize how much people care about football. I think that's similar to what you said. When you first look at ECU, you don't really know kind of the history about it and the football program and stuff like that. But just seeing the love that the university has for all the sports, even baseball too, it's been great. I mean, the fans have just really embraced me and embraced the team. So that's probably the biggest surprise. It's people love football down here, and it's really cool to see.
Yeah, for sure.
You talked about a little bit with John David Baker and y'all's relationship. I mean, I think head coach and quarterback relationships, obviously the biggest, but offensive coordinator quarterback relationship is second biggest. I mean, I've been around a ton now, whether it's at ECU in Seattle or now in the UFL. There's different relationships though. He's a younger guy. I had an older coach. I have an older coach now. Had an older coach in Seattle. How is that relationship? How have y'all meshed? How do you, him, Jake, like how do all of y'all mesh? How's the quarterback room? How's he coaching it?
It's been really good. It's been really positive. I came from Michigan State where my OC was an older guy. So I didn't really feel that connection with him. And now I'm with a younger guy. So I feel that connection just is a lot better. And I feel like I'm talking to a player more than I'm talking to coach. I feel like it's super friendly, super lighthearted. And overall, I feel like it's really improving me because I feel confident being able to talk to him and bounce things off of him. Just talking plays like that doesn't really feel like I'm talking to a coach. It feels like I'm talking like a friend or a teammate. So it's been really positive. It's really improved my play as well. Even with we have the mics in the helmet now, so he's able to like kind of talk to smack in the helmet if I'm
let's go.
something. So it's a really cool experience just being able to talk to a guy that's more on the younger side for sure.
Dude, the mic in the helmet is y'all like. I remember getting to the NFL and thinking it would be super clear, and it's like muffled as hell. Like, is y'all super muffled, or is college like better than the NFL somehow?
No, it's muffled some days. Like if it's windy out, you have to like hold your ears and stuff like that.
Yeah,
to listen to the mic. But some days it's good, some days it's bad. It's different. So it's different.
Sounds like
cool.
Sounds like legit walkie-talkie, like talking to you.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
Weird. It's
I remember we played in Green Bay in the preseason, and I had a 2-minute drill at the end of the game. It was sold out. Green Bay always sells out, even their preseason games. And like it was muffled. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, bro, how is this $1 billion company and we can't get like a clear mic in the helmet right now? Like, what's going on? But boys, y'all got anything else for him before we let him go?
I'm all good.
So,
appreciate it, man.
I didn't know about the mic and the helmet thing.
Yeah, that's cool. I didn't know that either.
So there's no more signaling at all, or is it all mic and helmet?
No, there's signaling. So I came in the locker room one day and my helmet was in my locker, and we're like going out to practice. And I went up to Steve, our equipment guy, and I'm like, "Where's my helmet, man?" And he had the mic in it. He was putting the mic in it. So I didn't realize we were doing that like today. So he was like, "Yeah,
Big Steve."
So yeah, they still signal whatever. I just have the mic and the headset, and he basically just
nice.
play whatever. Tells me, "Hey, look, you're getting 0 right here. Be ready to throw slants backside or something like that." Just right before.
That's sick.
So it's pretty cool.
That is pretty.
Does it Is that for the season too, or are we just trying it? Is that like something?
I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure it's for season.
Yeah, I believe
it's sure on that.
It's for the season, and the defense also gets one too. I was talking to Coach Harrell about it at the baseball game on Saturday, and he was saying like his biggest issue right now is trying to not tell them too much in the head and make them think. Like he just wants to be able to give them something from the tip sheet and something to look after, and kind of let them play. So they're all working it out in different ways.
Katin, does it cut out? Like, does y'all's cut out? Do you know?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I guess
it said
it cuts out after a certain
15
time.
seconds before the ball snapped, like on the play clock.
Yeah. Dude, in the NFL, these play calls would be like 40 words long, and like preseason, you're sitting in there and like he's like, all right, gun double right, ZN, 34 duo pass, can, and then it has a whole nother word, and it just cuts out. And I'm like,
yeah,
you got to know the call sheet. So get used to it. That's pretty cool that we have it on. But dude, hey, appreciate you joining. We're pulling for you. Obviously, you have my number, dude. So anything you need, text me. Give Steve a shout out. I heard you say equipment.
Yes,
shout out to Steve. We need to give him the balls. I saw a picture. I don't know if it was a kicking ball or not, but I hope it was, because I saw one of the balls that Pirate Football posted. It looked like it wasn't mudded, so we need to get on that.
Yeah, no, I need to get on that for sure.
Hey, but keep killing it, brother. Have a good summer. We'll be in touch. We appreciate you for joining.
Thank you, guys, man.
See you.
Yep.
That was brought to you by Worth Chiropractic, 2 convenient locations on Arlington Boulevard. Katin, hey, he's an athlete. He probably needs his back adjusted. Go to Worth Chiropractic, 1-800-BACK-DOC. They kept me on the field. They keep me on the field now. I always say I can't wait to get back to Greenville to get adjusted and to keep my back there. They kept me playing while I was at ECU. I was struggling. I have some back problems, boys, and they helped me out. So shout out to those guys. 2 convenient locations on Arlington Boulevard. Boys, NBA playoffs, Jack. We already talked about it a little bit. Let's dive into it. The Knicks, game Saturday at 7 o'clock. So the playing game. We film on Wednesdays, playing games tonight. Jack, how we feeling about the Kings? Obviously beat the Warriors. How we feeling about it going into the playoffs?
Personally, that was just a big win for me, because my junior, senior year of high school was when the Warriors started really taking off. And you had people, and I'm from Granite Bay, it's just outside of Sacramento. It is not the Bay Area. You had a lot of people in high school start showing up in Curry jerseys and stuff like that. And the loyal Kings fans are just sitting there after getting drugged through the mud since we were born. Just like, what are you guys doing? Like, we're in Sacramento. We're not in the Bay Area. So for us, I know they're in their later prime years, if you will. But for us to beat them and knock them out of the playoffs was a sweet moment.
It was cool, but you don't know nothing about the mud unless you're a Knicks fan. Don't even get me started.
Jack,
I don't even know.
Kings.
What, Katin?
Jack, I watched that last game the Kings played the Pelicans, and
it's a bad matchup.
They got bullied bad. Like, it was embarrassing, like, offensive performance. I think they went like 5 minutes without scoring a basket the last game. So getting the Pelicans on the road now.
Yeah, it's not. I would have rather honestly seen the Lakers. with Malik Monk being hurt, the Kings, that hurts them on the offensive standpoint pretty hard. But we'll see if we can light the beam on Friday night.
Zionless though. Did you see that? Zion's out, so that's a big one for it, boys. I'm feeling good about the Knicks. I'm not gonna lie. I feel good about it. I'm hoping the Dallas makes it and the Knicks make it to the finals so that I can go. I will spend my life savings. If I'm inactive still, I'm not going to the game on the weekend. I'm going to the Knicks game.
You know what makes me feel good, Holton?
What?
I got a little envelope today, and it was a little keychain from Madame Mesquite.
Let's go.
These guys right here, it's a stylish keychain. I need to put my keys on it. These guys are just reliable, make you feel good, make you look good. Their merchandise is second to none. We'll for sure be handing out more here. I think they're sending us a couple more packages to give away some stuff. But just a shout out to our good friends at Madame Mesquite Goose Club. Those guys do it.
Man, they are. Go follow them on Instagram too. They're killing on the Instagram front with all their stuff. So, and there'll be more of that. And let's go ahead and give a shout out to Wayne Hardy Law, 1-800-INJURED. If you've been in a car accident, they will help you from getting a rental to obviously handling your court case and winning your court case, boys. They're going to treat you like family. That's the Wayne Hardy difference. Shout out to those guys for the support. Do we got any bets for the weekend before we close it out, boys? Do we got any NBA bets? I'll go first. I'm going to take the Knicks Saturday night, whoever they play, whether it's the Heat or the Sixers. Look, I don't want to play a healthy Embiid. I really don't, but we'll make it happen. We'll beat them if we have to. Best case scenario for the Knicks is tonight, Wednesday. The Heat beat the Sixers. Then the Sixers go play for the 8 seed, win that, and beat the Celtics. But we're not afraid of anyone. So I'm taking the Knicks Saturday night. But you know what? You know what would be really good is if I could take some of that ease off my bet. Southern Ease, shout out to those guys. Use code PIRATE, capital Pirate, for 25% off at southernease.com. What are you waiting for? Experience the many wellness benefits of Southern Ease tasty edibles by going to southernease.com. And like I said, use code PIRATE for 25% off your order. Check them out, boys. Check them out. But how we feeling? You got any bets going into it other than Knicks?
I have personally been on a rut lately in baseball, MLB. I don't know what happened. I started the year off pretty strong. I know I've been away, but the last week and a half, I think I've been like 0-6, and I've just been I know it's been cold. But what I do like is the Guardians on Friday night versus the Athletics. They're at home. I'm gonna take the Guardians on the runs -1.5, and I'm feeling we could get some good value on that. The A's, they're playing a lot better baseball than they were last year. I think they made a lot of different trades, but I think the Guardians are one of the best team and hottest teams in baseball right now, and I really like the way they're playing. So I'm going to the Guardians -1.5 on Friday night. Hopefully I can break a rut.
Jack, haven't you been just like fading the A's all season, or has that been Katin? I'm pretty sure it was you.
No, it was me. I started off early, just fading the A's, and I do look at matchups, and that'll usually be pretty successful for you if you could do that. It's also going to Colorado. I went to a Rockies game and started fading them. They're on like a 4-game lose streak, so that's worked pretty well. But my bet that I've been looking at, and similar to you, it's a heart-driven fandom bet. The Stanley Cup playoffs start April 20th, and the Hurricanes open up with the Islanders. So I'm going to be hammering the Hurricanes for that one. I even got my Hurricanes hat on for this.
Let's go. I noticed. All right, boys. Hey, great episode. And by the way, before I forget, Southern East code PIRATE is capital Pirate for 25% off. Make sure you do capital Pirate for that. Shout out to those guys. Shout out to you. Hey, maybe next week we're going to have all 4 here. Hopefully Drew doesn't have bubble guts for a full week, boys. That would be bad. Or is Drew actually sick, Jack? Be honest. Or is his ankles hurt because his feelings hurt because we said Caitlin Clark would beat him in one-on-one?
Yeah, you guys don't know it, but Caitlin Clark actually came here and we had a private one-on-one. He's in a cast and a sling. He's beat up before the draft. So, yeah, he didn't want to show face tonight.
Drew's catching strays even when he's not producing. Hey, shout out to him. Hopefully he feels better. Shout out to Jack for the new episode. Shout out to Katin for being back with us after traveling. Hopefully we get us all 4 next week, boys. It's been fun. Shout out to Ryley and Katin for joining the show, boys. Thought it was a good episode. We'll talk soon and see you next week.